From above, it looked like a tear in quivering black fabric. I watched the Rebbe walk forward straight at the dense crowd. At each step, the tear opened a little more and then sealed back behind him as men stepped or even fell back in front of him, leaving space for the Rebbe where there had been none a moment before. The Rebbe paid no attention to the people falling away before him. He simply walked forward straight at them, nodding and smiling at people who looked stunned at his attention. Kriyas Yamsuf, the girl said, who was next to me, the parting of the Red Sea. So I said, that makes the Rebbe Moses. How I wanted to be down there, breathing in that man air, the air of the presence of God. And yet, it was as if I could hear my mother's disdainful whisper. They worship him, she hissed in my ear. She had to be wrong, because Seema told me that no Jew ever worships a man or needs an intermediary to God. Everybody has God's ear, Seema told me, but a saint like the Rebbe has God's ear a little more. You have to think for yourself, my mother hissed. But wasn't I making up my own mind rather than letting her think for me? I'd come on my own. I turned as if turning away from her and dove straight into the powerful current of reverence and trust in this Rebbe. 2 steps up the platform and the Rebbe settled into his red chair before the microphone to give his speeches. Once he began, I understood so little that it took a while before I realized how distorted the sound was that reached us in the women's gallery, and how many of the women around me could understand Yiddish fluently, but still couldn't hear enough to follow. The spiritual high started to wane. I sighed. The girl next to me said, "It's hard to hear, I know. Just let your soul absorb it all." The Rebbe finished a speech to a resounding Amen from below and above. Thousands of voices at once. We waited then with slowing of breath. For a second I wondered what the Rebbe would say about my wanting to postpone marriage. Then he began to sing. His old voice was hoarse and strong, the melody raw and piercing as a cry, as if we were privy to his intimate conversation with God. Tzama lecha nafshi, he sang, my soul thirsts for you, my flesh thirsts for you, in a land dry and exhausted, devoid of water. The Hasidim sang the same lines back to him. Hasidim and Rebbe were lovers who shared a mutual thirst for God, each Hasid focusing his longing for escape from cares on one old figure on a red velvet chair. Each wanted to embrace him and grab the Rebbe's coattails and fly with him to God. The Hasidim repeated their song again and again in a growing roar of intensity, mesmerizing. My soul thirsts for you, my flesh thirsts for you. Men put their hands over their faces. They swayed and cried. The crowd, the current. I was both in the song and of it, filled with it, transported. I, too, closed my eyes to soak in this. It was happening. I was flying, carried far beyond petty hopes or dreams, rocketed out of my fragmented family, deep into this community with God, with the Rebbe. The refrain was wordless, yama mama, a roaring, begging cry. Then for a moment, I snapped out of it. For a moment, I could see that I was actually removed from that current below. I wasn't in the midst of it at all. I was, after all, standing up above, behind glass. How I wanted to dive down there, or rather float down, and blend invisible among the men and sing out the way the men sang. I would be one of them, one with them, and not just a spectator up here on the periphery of that spirit. The Rebbe took up the tune again. Kain ba kodesh chazi sicha, so in holiness I seek to behold you. And the men again sang their wordless refrain. And so they went back and forth, Rebbe and Hasid filling the universe and one another, bound together in song and in their reach to God as I watched from the glass above.